Alright guys, working back on the Chevy again today, and we got the easy inches installed. They were what I was talking about before. You can see one right there, and again they're a solid steel block with holes drilled in it, and they bolt to the centering pin of the spring, so they're safe to use on your front and rear axles. They're not a lift block. Most people use them to actually move the axle forward or back. They have slotted holes drilled in them, so you can do that. But they're not a lift block. They are in fact bolted to the spring, so they're more like an add-a-leaf, but they don't add any spring rate to your spring pack, so they keep the ride better than an add-a-leaf would. And actually, since I had to take out that broken spring, it's actually softened up the front end a lot, and it rides a hell of a lot better than it did with just the lift springs before. I think they were either Rancho or Skyjacker, and they rode like shit. They're really stiff, so this is a lot nicer. So we'd been driving it around like that, and every time you go off the driveway or whatever, it would rub before, and then after the add-a-leaf, or I mean the zero rate rather, it would rub just a little bit on full lock. So I said, well, that's not going to work, we're going to have to cut it. Now if we had had our full spring packs, we probably wouldn't have had to cut it, but since that leaf was broken, this one right here, since that leaf broke, I had to take the bottom leaf set of both sides, and in so doing we only got a ½ inch of lift out of that block. So that zero rate, I keep calling it a block, but it's not. So we had to do a little fender trimming, and keep in mind I haven't painted this body color yet, but we just took a little out of that section right there. Hit it with some black spray paint just to protect it from flash rusting, but here you can see it better where it was cut. As you can see, shit pools inside my fenders pretty bad, mostly mud and shit, but so we cut it, but from far away you can't really even hardly notice unless you're looking for it, and once it's painted body color it really won't stand out very much. So that's pretty good, and took it out on the local trail that's just down the road and put it up on a rock, and it didn't rub at all, so I think we got that fixed. I have the zero rates to lift the back, but as you can see, it actually sits pretty level, so I'm not even sure I'm going to put those in. And that's the spot right there where this one was done. I didn't know zoom worked in movie mode. Yep. So that's this side. Again, I just snipped off the bottom. I think I got a piece of it over here in the trash can. How much I took off? Really not a lot. Yeah, here's it. It's just like that little bit right there. Not a big deal. You know, I know this truck isn't very expensive, and I know I don't have a lot into it, and I kind of just wheel it and have fun with it, but to the same token, I still want my stuff to look halfway decent. I mean, I know it looks ugly. I think it's kind of cool having an old beat up truck, but you know, I don't want it to look all hacked up and real shitty. So that's pretty much it. Stay tuned, because we're going to be getting going on the diesel soon. Here's the CUCV motor. I know the lighting in here sucks, I'm sorry, but we had the starter bolt holes fixed in that, so hopefully I can get going on that, get that thing up and going. And then over here is the other 6.2, which is behind this mountain of shit right now. But if you can read that right there, it does have a Banks turbo on it, so that's going onto this motor, because this motor has 50,000 miles. That one's got well over 250,000 on it. So as long as this one doesn't have any cracks in the main webs, which I hope to hell it doesn't, we'll be all set. Also on the truck, I've done a little bit of rewiring on a couple of things. I added some lights just because I had them. I really don't know if I like them. The color's not really right, but they're those kind of cheesy aftermarket deals. Oops, turn that off. Pretty close blue under there. Obviously when it's dark it's a lot brighter, but it's kind of neat, I thought. As you can see here, there's just a mess of speaker wires and other stuff. I've been cleaning up all the wiring under the dash area, trying to make it look a lot neater. You know, as I go to upgrade things, I like to try to neaten up things. I put a shifter boot on the twin sticks, and stuff like that. As you can see, the floor's got POR 15 on it, and over here we got a hole there, rod over here. You know, this rocker panel. Oh, there's my hand under it. It's completely going. So, you know, whatever. It's gonna need rockers, floor section, a little bit of kick panel, and cab corners. Not a big deal. I'm starting to get better at welding, so that should be happening soon. So that's where this truck's at, guys. If you have any questions about it or want to know more about anything on it, feel free to ask. I can always make a vid. I like to make videos that have a purpose or could help somebody else out instead of just random stupid videos. So if you guys want to see something, just let me know. I can make that happen for you. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to get some more wheeling videos up on this thing. It's just that I don't really have a big memory card on this camera. It can only hold about 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 15 at the most if it's completely empty. So, you know, to bring it, first of all, to bring it off-roading is kind of a big deal because you don't want to break your camera. But also, without having a lot of memory, it's kind of hard to shoot videos with it. So yeah. Also, as I had mentioned before, these front tires are grooved. You can see right there, they're grooved. The back ones aren't. So you can see if they look like stock. So we're going to get to test these out in the wintertime, see how the grooves work in the snow and in the mud and things like that. So I'll be sure to let you guys know on that. Also, I picked up some rear Bilstein, I think they're 5150s for the back here. I'll be installing those and see if that improves the ride any. I've heard really good things about Bilstein shocks, so hopefully those help. I also noticed that the lift shocks in the front here, the Ranchos that I have on here, I think they're 5000s, are too short. They don't let the axle droop all the way. So, something to keep in mind if you lift the truck. I would say you're better off getting the springs, doing a shackle flip in the back, and then ordering your shocks separately. If you really want one of these old square body Chevys to flex really nice, your best bet is to actually take the rear springs that are in it, move them to the front with a kit sold by DIY Forex. It's called the B52 kit, or B52 and beyond. You could actually use 56s or bigger. So move your back springs to the front and then get 56 or 63-inch Chevy springs for the back, and then the thing will flex like crazy with the shackle flip. You'll be able to flex almost like you got coils. I mean, a lot of guys don't have the time or the welding experience to put a coil set up under one of these trucks, so that's probably the best. I think leafs are a little more durable anyway. So that's pretty much it on the old Chevy here. Like I said, the diesel is going to be the next big swap. Then we're going to put rockers, cab corners in it, and it's going to be pretty much done. I don't really have any desire to do any more with it. It works great for the trails I run. It's kind of big, and I'm kind of getting ready to move on to my Suzuki project. You know, a little bit cheaper on gas, a little more fun on the trails because it's not so wide. This thing's fun, but man, some of these trails around here, you're following Jeeps, and you know, you got to pay a lot more attention so you don't screw up your body. Also, I've been working on my boat. For anybody that's interested, I can put some videos up on this. Again, if there's interest, this is a 1962 Glass Power Marathon. It's in the stages of restoration right now. I'm sanding it all down. It's going to get repainted. I already did the interior, as you can see. The transom's a little weak and the floor's a little soft in the way back, but you know what? It's just going to be a river boat, so I'm going to run it. To hell with it. And it's got a Chrysler 55 horsepower outboard on it, so this thing should scoot fairly well in the water. You know, it's got the period trailer and everything too. So, you know, something that I'm working on, just one of my way too many projects that I have going on right now. So that's good. The motor out of this, as I had mentioned before, will be going into that 56 Willys station wagon, and then that'll be getting some wiring and brakes and a couple other things, and that'll be hitting the streets. So I'm just trying to get some of these projects wrapped up. I might sell off some of these things here fairly shortly just to make more room and give me more time, because right now I got this truck, the Willys, the black Chevy, the Suzuki. For trucks, I have 2 garden tractors that I use very rarely, but when I need them, they need to work. I got a couple motors, as you can see. I got a 350 small block right there, 6.2, 6.2, you know, and then countless mopeds and other things that need to get finished. So basically, just trying to limit her down and focus on important things to get done. The reason I probably put so much time into this truck is just because it's one of the most fun to me. I really enjoy the four-wheeling, because you put something together, build it yourself, you take it out on these trails, and you go up things that you wouldn't think a vehicle could go up. Some of these rocks and things like that, you wouldn't think a truck could get up those. Even a stock truck, you wouldn't think would go some of the places that a stock truck can go. But then you put one of these things and you build it up a little bit, and they can do some pretty amazing things. And it's like having your own private roller coaster. I mean, it can get a little scary at times when you're leaning way over and it feels like it's gonna roll, but it's a lot of fun. I haven't really done much in the way of mud bogging or any of that kind of thing. I usually just do trail runs, so you go through deep puddles and deep mud sometimes, but you're not just going to go through mud. They also have a thing called overlanding, where you go out and you have a destination in mind and you try to get there using the trail, so you can go backwoods camping or fishing or things like that, and that's really what I like to do with it. So that's why I built that truck. The 84 is more of a street truck. It's fun, but I kind of got tired of waxing and cleaning it all the time, and I don't know. It was fast and it was fun, but it's just I've kind of lost interest, because there's nowhere to really go with that. Also, you know, having to maintain the paint job and all that other crap gets old. This thing is flat color. All I have to do is wash it, and I really don't care if it gets scratched or dented, so it's a lot more fun in that respect. You know, and so the Willys here, this is going to be more of a camping, off-roading rig. It's going to be nice, but it's not going to be, you know, concourse restoration nice. We just, you know, you want something that's fun, that you can drive and use. Again, with the boat, it's going to get a paint job. It'll look decent on the water. It's going to be fun, do some tubing, fishing, water skiing, things like that, but it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be a restoration. I don't really want to put that much time into it, honestly. It's a $200 boat. I paid $200 as it sits right now. I mean, I did some sanding and things like that, but it's a $200 boat. Why put all that time and effort into fixing something, you know, and not enjoy it? That's kind of where I'm at now with vehicles. I used to want them perfect, but now I'm at that point where, as long as they're not a rotted out pile of crap, as long as they're reliable and fun, that's more important to me than having a 10-point perfect car. So thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for the diesel swap, which will be coming up shortly. Also, the Suzuki will be coming back in here. We'll be doing a lot of welding on that, so if you want to see how I do my panel replacement, you can check that out. As I had mentioned, if anybody's interested in the boat, I can start a series on that. I haven't really started one because I figured there wouldn't be much interest in it, but if you people want to see it, let me know. And the Willys will probably bring back some videos on that as we get closer to the motor swapping that's going to be going on. So that's it for today, and take care, guys.